Assalamualaikum students. Today we will discuss the programming in BASIC, that is the chapter number 2. In this chapter, we will try to learn the basic knowledge of the programming languages. What is the high level language, what is low level language. We will also discuss the characteristics of the programming language and the main features of the high level languages and low level languages. We will also learn in this chapter like how we can prepare the computer programs by using the different languages, and we will cover the C language in this chapter. We will learn how we can write, compile, and execute the programs by using the IDE. So these are the topics, contents of this chapter that we will cover in this class, like computer programs, syntax, symmetrics. We will discuss about the high level and low level languages, then popular programming languages that used in market, and then differentiate between the compiler and interpreter, similar header, footers, and there are so many other topics that we will cover in this chapter. So what is the computer language? So just like the human language like English, Urdu, Pashto, we use to communicate with each other. Similar, if we want to communicate with computer, we want to solve our problems or we want to solve our task by using computer, so we have to communicate with computer. So for this purpose, we have to use the language that computer can understand. So we have to learn these languages to communicate with computer. Computer programming is the process of writing the computer program in a language to solve the particular problem. Computer program control the operation of the computer, and it is developed in computer language to perform a task. Like if we want to perform any task by using computer, so we have to give instructions to the computer in a programming language that we will learn in this class. Therefore, it is essential for this lecture to learn the computer languages to solve the different problems. Computer languages are known as the programming languages, like BASIC, C, Java, COBOL. So these are the different languages that are used to communicate with computer. So what is the computer program? Like we said, we talk about the programming languages that is used to design the computer program. But question is that what is the computer program? The computer program is a set of instructions that given to the computer to perform any specific task, to get or to solve a specific problems. Like these are the set of codes, set of instructions in a computer language that given to the computer to perform the specific task. Any task performed by the computer is controlled by the set of instructions that are executed by the microprocessor. It means that the instructions that given by the programmer, that given by the users to the computers, the microprocessor will process that instructions and then perform the specific task. So that is known as the computer program. We can also say it's a computer software. Once again, I repeat the definition: the set of instructions that given to the computer to perform the specific task is called computer program or computer software. So what is the syntax? Just like in English language in a grammar, we have the specific syntax, like we have to use the helping verbs, where we have to use the verb, adverbs. Similar, that is known as the syntax of the sentence, like present, past, future. Similar, in computer language, every language has its own unique syntax. Syntax means language have its own programming language rules and regulations under which you have to write down the statement and given to the computer. So these programming rules, regulations is known as the syntax. So syntax refer to the rules of the programming language according to which statement of the computer programs are to be written. It describes the way of writing the correct statement of programs. The syntax of programming language is similar like a grammar in the natural language, as we already discussed. For example, here is a variable is equal to expressions. Like we have to assign the values to a variable. So like we said, a is equal to 5. So here a is a variable and 5 is a value. So this is a specific format, like on the left side we have to write down the a, then the equal to sign, and then 5. Similar here, variable is equal to experience. So the next is symmetrics. Symmetrics give meaning to the programming language, just like in English language, like these helping words are used to add the meaning of your sentence. It describes the sequence of operations to be performed by the computer, like how the operation will be performed. For example, here we see that the equation here is sum is equal to a plus b. Here, how we can define it, how we can explain it, like first we have to get the value of a, then we have to get the value of b, we have to add it, sum it, and then we store that values in here sum. Okay, so this is defining. By this way we can define how this equation will be performed. So this is known as the symmetrics. Like it gives the meaning to the statement of the programming language, which describe the sequence of operation to be performed, like how operation will be performed. For example, first we get the value of a, then we get the value of b, we add both values and then assign the results to this, like a is equal to 2, b is equal to 3, so we have to add 2 plus 3 5, so sum equal to 5. Hope so you are clear on these two topics, that is symmetrics and syntax. So what is programming languages? As we discussed before, just like the human language, English, Urdu, Pashto, like there are so many languages we are used to communicate with each other. Similar, the programming language are used to communicate with the computer. It is used to give your instructions to perform a specific task to the computer. The user or programmer provides specific instructions to computer to perform the specific task. So that language in which the user or programmer give instructions to the computer, that language is known as the programming language. So we can define it. The programming language is a language which is understood by the computer. It is designed to give instructions to computer to perform a specific task. It is used to write the computer program. The computer programming language can be classified into two categories: high-level languages and low-level languages. So how we can remember like what is high and what is low? Anything that is difficult to understand by the users, by the humans, by us, is called low-level language. Here once again I repeat it, anything that is difficult to learn for us, difficult to understand for us, for programmer, so we said that is a low-level language. Similar, the high-level language, anything that is easy to understand by the user or programmer, is called high-level language. So you keep it in mind, the high and the low. Low means bad, difficult. Similar, the languages that is difficult to understand for human is called low, and the languages that is easy to understand by the human is called high-level languages. So there are two further types of low-level languages we will discuss further in detail. One is machine and second is assembly language. Then the machine level language, that is also known as the binary language, the language of a machine, of a 0-1, that computer directly understand without compilation, without conversions. Like anything that we give to the computer in a machine language, computer didn't need to change it, didn't need to convert any other language or any other code. So computer directly understand that language, that is the language of 0-1, which is known as binary language or a machine language. But the problem of this language is that it is difficult to understand by the users. Second, every machine has its own language. Like if you have the Dell machine or HP machine, so both machines have its own language. The software that run on HP, maybe that didn't work on Dell machine, because the both machines has its own language. So that's why mostly don't prefer to work any other language instead of machine language due to differences. Then assembly language, which is developed by the short symbols. That specific symbols is known as the mnemonic codes. So these language contain only different short codes. Instead of the numbers 0, 1, they convert these numbers into short codes. So these codes are known as mnemonics. So this language is known as the assembly language, but this language computer didn't understand directly. For this we need assembler to convert the assembly language into machine language, because we said computer only understand machine language, that is the 0, 1. The all other languages have to translate into machine language, and then computer can perform the operation by using that specific instructions. The next one is the high level languages. We already discussed like the language which is easy to understand by the human, so it means it's a language like a human language. So high level languages are English oriented languages that are commonly used writing the program in a computer. These languages are English language words such as the print, go to, if. So you will see next, we will discuss the C language in this chapter, that is the high level language. So all the words used in C language is just like a English language, which is easy to understand, or which is easy to write the program by using the C language. Okay, then we having the another category, that is the procedural languages and the structural languages. The procedural language is based upon the concept of the modern programming in modular consists of one or more modules. Like we divide a computer program into different subparts in sub-modules. So the languages that is used to write the computer instruction, used to write the computer programs into different modules in different small parts, that is known as the modular languages or procedural languages. Why it is used? Because it is easy to design, modify and debug by the programmers by using these procedural languages. For few examples are Fortran, like formula translation, Pascal, C and BASIC. These are our procedural languages. Then structural languages consist of the three fundamental elements, that is selection, sequence and repetition. What is meant by sequence? It means writing the program statement in a logical sequence, like each step followed by next step, like one by one in a specific sequence, like we said ascending order or descending order or alphabetically. So these languages are in a specific sequence, every instruction followed by the next instructions. So that's why we said it's a sequence language. Selection language, where we have to select the specific statement, we have to select the specific option on the basis of condition, which may be true, false, yes, no, such like that. So we will discuss in detail in next chapter as well. Few examples are if, else and switch. These are the few programming statements that we code here. So we will discuss in next chapter in detail, like what is if, what is else if and what is switch. So repetition, like something that repeat again and again. In programming language, we said it's a loop, like anything that repeat more than one time or again and again, so that is known as the loop. So such type of languages where we can use the loop is called the repetition language. It means executing one or more statement a number of times until condition is satisfied. Okay, like the specific statement, specific instructions repeat again and again until a specific condition not met. So that is known as the repetition languages. Thank you.